Hey friends, happy Tuesday, the 1st of November, and it's All Saints Day. Halloween gets a lot of attention these days, but of course, that's merely the eve of All Hallows Day. I hope that today is a wonderful All Hallows Day for you. I'm Father Bill Hill, priest at Holy Spirit Catholic Community in Rock Springs, Wyoming. I'll give you a reflection on the daily readings. They're linked at the sidebar. And I invite you, click the link, read the readings prayerfully, and then spend some time with God before you move on to other things. It is a holy day of obligation, and so if you're not at Holy Spirit, check your local parish and get to Mass. Here at Holy Spirit, we've got a 7 a.m., a 9 a.m., a 5:30, and a 7 o'clock in Spanish. And obviously, you need to pay attention to where those buildings are. That information is in our bulletin, I think also on our website. So check that stuff out and get to Mass. We have a second reading, so first reading, Psalm, second reading, and then a gospel today. I think that the readings are wonderful for us to be able to, pray in a variety of different ways this morning. The first reading, maybe you use a prayer of imagination and picture the images that John gives us. I think that the second reading is wonderful for just some mystical contemplation, and then maybe the gospel is really good for some reflection and maybe just a little bit of thoughtful conversation with the Lord. So let's get to it. In the first reading, the book of Revelation, we have an image of, the multitude that stands before the throne of the Lamb. So at first, there is 144,000 from every tribe of Israel, 12 times 1,000. That reminder that salvation is given through the law and through the covenant and through the relationship that God established with the patriarchs. And that's important to affirm, especially as we continue to struggle with anti-Semitism in the world. And then after that, then John sees a multitude that can't be numbered. And I'm impressed that he can count to 144,000, and then there's a multitude that he can't count. Perhaps you just want to take a moment and to imagine what that might look like in your own mind's eye. At the end of this, we hear, who are these who have washed, who are these that are clothed in white robes, and we hear that they are those who have come through the time of great distress. They have washed their robes in the blood and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. And of course, that's religious language oxymoron, right? I can't imagine washing a white garment in blood, but getting it to be white. Obviously, that is the image that's in play here. The time of great distress, they're talking martyrdom, they're talking persecution, all that terrible stuff. But we all have our challenges and the difficulties of our life. It's wonderful to remind ourselves in prayer that these are not just random things, that this isn't, a broken world, but that indeed entering through the cross to the glory of the resurrection is part of the pattern of the universe revealed by Jesus Christ, the self-emptying of God, of the incarnation, right? Okay. The second reading, who's it by? St. John, that's right. That we will see God face to face, God as God is. And of course, remember, God is not old dude with a sweet beard that gets depicted in artistic depictions, right? Like, God is eternal, God is Trinity, whatever that looks like. God is everywhere, and God also is above and beyond anything that we can comprehend. God is absolute goodness, love, truth, beauty, all of those sorts of things that we can try to conceptualize that are so far beyond our understanding. God has no beginning, no end. God created all of the universe and all that is, all of it, right? What would it be like to see God face to face? What would it be like to be like God? We have no idea, right? And so we can stumble forward with metaphors, with language, but of course, all of it is so far beyond us that perhaps it's good to just sit in quiet contemplation on the good things that God is doing for all of the saints. Lastly, the Beatitudes, the statements of blessing from Matthew's Gospel, the Sermon on the Mount. If you would like to pray with it, perhaps we just ask the question, how is the Lord inviting us into one or two of these statements of blessing? Being poor in spirit, being meek, being humble, being persecuted for the sake of righteousness, mistreated and spoken ill of. How is it that the Lord is inviting us to be blessed today? Not one of the saints lives all of these. Not one of the saints is like to another. Each of us unique and blessed by God to be the people that we were created to be in this time and in this space with our own experiences and background, and baggage and sins and all of that. How's the Lord calling us into blessed relationship today based on those Beatitudes? All right, All Saints Day. Eat some candy, celebrate, get to Mass. Pray those readings, and then turn off your screen. God bless you, friends.